the hearing was concluded and that they didn't have anything to do about it. So apparently there was a hearing in the courtroom. But then we went down to the clerk's office to file the papers that she had. And the clerk of the court said that, oh, you have to go and take and erase every reference to George McDermott on the filing. We can't accept it with anything that has George McDermott on it. So she took all the copies and crossed out my name. Went in, they said, no, that's good enough. You got to totally erase not just strike through it, but you have to black it out completely. So she did it and went back in, and then they told her that, well, you cannot file this because you have an attorney now. Hold it, And she said, he put his appearance in, and you can't file anything else in this case. This is how attorneys take control of your life. I was filing it. My name was on there because I was filing separately from her as the legal power of attorney for Sherry Eveland. So I told her to pick up a copy of the daily sheet and a copy of the court docket and gave her some money to pay for it. She came back with the court docket and said that we weren't entitled to a daily sheet showing the proceedings even existed. So I was suspicious of that, so I went back in and saw a clerk. I said, excuse me, yes, since when is the daily sheet and it's on the docket? I need a copy of the daily sheet from the last hearing and a copy of the daily sheet for this hearing. Well, you can't have that. That's secret. You're not allowed to have that. But I can give you the one from the last of February. So it gets more bizarre by the minute, folks. This is how the clerks of the court are poor Sherry, she's been beat to death, she's been robbed. These attorneys are putting false documents in. The judges openly allow them to do this. And it's criminal beyond belief. So finally I got him to give me a copy of the daily sheet, and all it has is Sherry Eveland and Tom O'Toole made an appearance. That's it. Nothing was decided, nothing was written down, no records whatsoever. That they just Tom O'Toole and Sherry Eveland made an appearance. That is absolute bullshit. After we did this, then I took Sherry and we went back to the orphans court where I requested a copy of the court docket and got it and paid for it for myself. And that's been doctored so bad, but I wanted the timestamp on it to show that it was as of today. And then I also got a copy of the application for Sherry to become the executor over Cheryl Dalton's estate, and showed them that we had a copy of the will. They would not accept it from Sherry when she went in, but I showed it to them. I said, I just need all the paperwork that we need to make it necessary so she can file to be executor of the estate. And the lady in the will's office was very accommodating. Once again, it cost me another $15 or $18, and then, you know, so then I had to take Sherry immediately out and get her something to eat. She said she hadn't had anything to eat in 2 days before, you know. So I took her out and got her a hot meal. Then I took her up so she could do some other business up in near Delaware. And then we came back here to the center, and it had just closed. We got here at 9 minutes after 12. So I took her then. Rather than keep her in the cold, we went to the public library, and I made a copy of the application to make her a power of attorney, because you don't want one of these judge-appointed lawyers. Look what happened the last time. They stole over $19 million worth of her father's estate. She's, you know, it's getting cold out here right now. They stole it. All the judges in this county are dirty as you can possibly believe. State's attorney's offices are dirty as you can possibly believe. They're stealing people's properties left and right. The attorneys are robbing their clients and getting away with it. And they think that I'm going to back down. Well, it's not going to happen, folks. I'm here to protect the legal and civil rights of a fellow citizen, Sherry Eveland. So I'm going to, once I get her information, I had to drive up to her house in the rising sun to get her this morning, almost three and a half hours through heavy traffic, which normally takes about 2 hours. And then I'm having to drive back this evening. But I did get the documents done. I've made a record from what's happening right now. And even the clerk of the court was shocked when she was making out the daily sheet from the previous. She said, "Mr. McDermott, there's no hearing scheduled today in the circuit court." Well, why the hell didn't he, you know, if it wasn't a hearing, why in the world did Tom O'Toole send it to me? Then we started analyzing it more, and we find out that the clerk of the court only notified, they didn't notify Sherry of the hearing. They notified Cheryl Dalton and her brother Timothy at fictitious addresses. One of them is in Alexandria, Virginia. This is tampering with federal court records, folks. When are you going to wake up and say the American Bar Association has took a step too far, and they've turned into criminals who only care about stealing everything that they can possibly do and keeping criminals in office, and the hell with everybody else. But at least I got her here to the food bank, and I got her something to eat. I got her some warmth for the day, and now I'm going to take her back home as soon as she comes back out, back to where she's staying. And now she's terrified that Andrews Rogers' son is going to wind up with everything. The attorney just is, even when I sent him a copy, a 78-page filing yesterday, of 78 pages of exhibits showing 10 years of judicial and legal terrorism against her, including the $5 million bond was the first document where Leonard Wilson took out a $5 million bond the 3rd of September 2014, used $18,000 of her father's estate money to do it. And REL Insurance RIL Insurance Company is now liable because of all the fraud that's taking place. Oh, well, we can't go after them. No, no, no. That's our bonding company. They bond us. That's bullshit. So I'm asking for volunteers. Anybody who wants to volunteer to fight corruption in this country, come forth. Financially, send me 10, 2 or 3 or 5 or $10 so I can afford this. Today I've already spent. It's going to be $250 before I get back home. Gas and food and court papers and everything else. It's bullshit, folks. Wake up, America. You know, when the government becomes abusive to and upon itself, it's time that we, the peoples of these United States, take legal action and dissolve that government and form a new one. It's time. It's time. It's time we get the CEO of the Corporation of the United States, a convicted felon many times over, Donald J. Trump, out of office. We'll hold him accountable and liable for the crimes he's committed against our society. Hold him accountable for the. He's profiteered by over, according to the New York Times, over $5 billion since he's been in office this last time. And I'll guarantee you we are going, by the end of the year, we will be $5 trillion deeper in debt. Wake up, do what you're supposed to do, demand change, demand reform. George McDermott signing off from Elkton, Maryland Food Bank, Elkton, Maryland. God bless. Have a great day. From the land of the scam and the home of the fraud, it's about 1:40 in the afternoon on the 11th day of February 2026.